Hypocrisy runs deep in the alt-left. Case in point, let's first listen to the liberal posse delivering their predictable, over-the-top, jacked-up rhetoric surrounding the Trump-Russian ambassador meeting leaks.
This president is a loose cannon. The president of the United States cannot just do or say or speak whatever the hell he wants. That's just irresponsible.
People are going to be alarmed, astonished, appalled by the recklessness and carelessness, at best, of this kind of talk with the Russians.
The White House seems to be a catastrophe. It's crazy. It's Michigas, a good Yiddishism. It's Michigan. It's just confusing craziness.
This is the most serious accusation ever made against the sitting president relating to national security.
Ever.
If it's true.
Breaches like this will get Americans killed eventually. There's no better way to put it.
Okay, but now let's refresh the memories of these liberals. In fact, it was their own presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, who severely mishandled classified information for years. Or was the fake news media back then? Charles Krauthammer wouldn't let it slide last night.
It's just pure opportunism and a reflex reaction, and particularly since their candidate for the presidency had been spilling classified information, some of the highest level, for a year and a half, and the Democrats pretended it either wasn't a problem or that it should be ignored. It's rather unseemly.
Now, Dom, you touched on that in the A block. Hillary Clinton was the one who was, you know, feasibly leaking classified information for her.
And sometimes I wonder,
mishandling, I should say.
Yeah, I wonder if Democrats want to win with Trump. I think what it is, they can't figure out how to beat him. He's unpredictable, unconventional. So they throw up their hands and think just saying anything is going to... And Blumenthal is made for Trump to troll, the senator from Connecticut. Every time that he's out there, Trump just eats this up. There'll be a tweet about this guy.
You're talking about Blumenthal. I assume, Matt, Don might be talking about when Senator Blumenthal kind of forgot his own military record.
Yeah, that's right. You know,
exactly, yeah.
I served a year in ROTC. You know, I can't really make that into anything bigger. It wouldn't be appropriate. But this is just so typical of them, which is they lose track of their own weaknesses, and they've got their own weaknesses on classified information. By the way, we only have one president. He can declassify anything he wants at any time.
And that's what you said, Ebony, right? That's
exactly what the statute, that good old statutory law comes in handy. Here's the problem. For the Democrats in this moment, I understand there's still a lot of upsettedness, shock and awe, what have you, around the November elections. That's really what this is still about for many of them. Here's the issue. Now is the time to get in front of it. This montage, Eric, that we just played to open this block, that is the same narrative they were anticipating on winning that election with. This shock and awe and outrage of how much of a disaster Donald Trump is. It didn't work in November. My advice to them as a party would say, okay, now is the time to, because there are some missteps, some sloppiness, at least as Matt called it, from this White House. Use that as an opportunity. Get in front of issues on, get an economic message, get in front of national security, get in front of, I don't know, criminal justice reform, and actually put together a cohesive message that people can go to the polls and vote for, not just being so afraid and intimidated by Donald Trump.
And Kat, isn't it true that Trump garnered a huge percentage of his vote by people who said, you know, I'm tired of business as usual in Washington, D.C., so they voted for him? Meanwhile, it seems like the media can't accept what he is. He's different. He's not a typical... You can't get the laser on that target.
You most certainly cannot. And I think if you're a Democrat and you're concerned about national security, but only if it's a threat that's potentially been committed by a Republican, you're not really concerned about national security. You're concerned about taking down Republicans, and that's just the truth. You have to be concerned about it on all sides, but that applies to both sides, Republicans too, and Democrats. But people have had enough of these politics for the sake of politics, which is exactly why they voted for Donald Trump. And if they continue this, they're saying, oh, isn't this so shocking? Isn't this so shocking? Well, the guy was shocking when he was running, very shocking, and he still won. So you're going to have to find some other talking point, any other talking point.
Or maybe a message.
Right. You know, you keep your finger on the pulse, I mean, especially with CPAC and whatnot. A lot of these same people who are trashing Trump are saying, oh, look, this is really great for Democrats in 2018, but they were so completely off base going into 2016 election. Do they have any argument in this at all?
Well, look, I think the Democrats are in a rough spot here because if you really look at it, Eric, there's no policy disagreements. They all wanted to get rid of Comey. They all want to defeat ISIS. They're the original idea of, oh, we don't have to fear the Soviets or the Russians. We should make nice. We should all get along. All these policy disagreements, they're really not there. So you know what it all comes down to? Donald Trump is not legitimate. Donald Trump, this was erratic behavior. You know what? You're exactly right. Kat, that the American people knew exactly what they were voting for, and they think Washington needs it.
Matt brought up a very good point, guys. Control him. Can you go to that soundbite? I thought we weren't going to use it, but listen to the soundbite of exactly what Matt was talking about, if you have it. Go.
Now that he has been let go, why the sudden and selective outrage from your side of the aisle?
For the President of the United States to fire somebody with his own self-admission that he didn't like, he was tired of the Russia-Trump probe, is distressing. It's distressing.
I believe she's distressed. She looks very distressed.
Congresswoman?
Yes. Yeah. And that's the point Matt was making, Kat, is that, look, they were outraged with Comey after the election. Now they're saying, hey, why'd you fire him?
Yeah, there's definitely some of that. There's absolutely some of that. And they weren't concerned about Hillary Clinton. Now they're concerned about Trump. Either you care about national security or you don't. We need to get to a point where we care about issues. And with Russia particularly, remember when Mitt Romney said that Russia was our single greatest threat? They were laughing. There were T-shirts mocking him with that on it. And now they've decided, oh, yeah, no, but it is. So it's become only political, and people are tired of that, or else we'd have a different president than we do now.
And maybe that's another message to your Democrat friends out there. Hey, less hypocrisy.
A couple of them. Yeah, no, I mean, Eric, I've been consistent on this issue for a very long time now. You've got to get a message, and this was the failure of the 2016 election, also with a terribly flawed candidate, Mrs. Clinton. But that messaging absence, this is what they are paying a price for, and it's a huge price tag if indeed they are troubled by what they're seeing coming out of this White House. And more Trump hate is not going to fix that.
Dom, quick thought.
Quick thought is they can't penetrate the base of Trump. No matter what he does, people that call me, they're entertained even by this when he fired Comey. They told me that exactly.
All right. We're going to leave it right there. No